afternoon, good evening, good morning, or repeating it, folks. It's your man, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Folks, it's a busy day for me. It's 2 interviews today. Usually, I don't get this busy, but you know what? It's that time. The season is picking up for the sport. A lot of these ladies are getting ready, getting prepped, and then they can squeeze a little time for me having them on my channel. It's very appreciative. So right here, we have a lovely lady here. She just competed, just about I would say a month ago at the Pittsburgh Pro,
5 weeks.
and yeah. I say, I don't go like everybody goes. I don't count by weeks. I count by months. But yeah, respectfully her, we have here the lovely Mrs. Samantha Emery, and she is a physique competitor, and also she's a natural competitor, which is kind of hard to do in this sport, especially NPC, IFB level. There's other organizations that do natural, like OCP and others. But to be a natural competitor in this level of bodybuilding, it can be tough. So, ma'am, welcome to our show, and thank you for coming. And this question asks you, all you ladies, what got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. How I got started was about 15 years ago. I was training in a small town in Canada, and he's now one of the head judges for the CPA, so that's the Canadian Physique Alliance. Rudy, he seen me in the gym. He's like, "You should consider competing." I'm like, "Okay." And so I started competing years ago. I did 7 shows back in 2008, 2009, back when it was Ontario Physique Alliance. Now it's completely switched over. And then I took a 15-year break and got back into it, got my pro card, and I love it.
Yeah, it took 15 years, and I know a lot of ladies who spent that time, competing straight for that long, even longer, before they got their pro card. But yeah, it's good to take that step back and to rejuvenate yourself, because the sport has evolved over the past 20 years. Since I've been following bodybuilding for about 40 years, and I've seen how it's grown from it was just it used to be just first it was just men's bodybuilding. Now you have women's bodybuilding. You have fitness. You have men's 212, physique, classic. All the other divisions. It really has changed. What was the division you originally? It was 15 years ago. So you were originally in bodybuilding, or were you doing figure?
Figure. So they only had figure and bodybuilding at the time. And then, funny enough, I was going through all my old suits, and figure you had to have a 2-piece and a 1-piece. I found the old god awful 1-piece suit, and it fits, but I will never ever put that thing back on.
Yeah, I remember, because I think they did have I think for figure and fitness they had the 1-piece suit, because I think figure had you had the posing suit, you have the 2-piece, you had the performance part, and I think you had a dress part. I used to remember in fitness, and
Yeah, like if they had I know fitness they had a cat suit, because my posing coach, she's like, "Yeah, I found my old cat suit." And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's
it's
fake."
crazy. So, what as you took that time off. What were you doing that time? Those 15 years where you weren't competing?
I was still training, like I didn't give up on training, but I was just more so focused on like work and getting everything together with my life, and I just miss competing. And then once I got back into it, I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this!" Like I love it more so now than I did, especially with the women's physique, because I get to do the fun routine and the pose. I like doing the poses a lot better than just quarter turn to the right.
Yes, you had more. See, is there a lot of people physique is kind of it's like scale act version of women's bodybuilding, where it's more feminine, more aesthetically conditioned compared to bodybuilding, where you use more size and definition, and your poses are more. You do the open hand poses, and while the women do the flex. I feel like this. I'm more of a hardcore fan of women's bodybuilding than physique, but I have grown into physique. I used to call physique watered down women's bodybuilding, but with you ladies, I really I really respect what y'all do. It's a lot of work to put into being in the sport. So when did you turn pro, and what show?
It was the Toronto Pro Natural last August 17th, I think it was. And that was the longest day of my life because I didn't get home until like 10:45 at night, getting up at like 2 in the morning to come and you have to get your hair and makeup done first thing. But then there were so many competitors that day, and the Canadian shows are, sorry, Canada, they're a little less organized than the ones in the States. That's why I like competing in the States. They're great shows and they put on a fantastic performance. And like I said, a little more organized. But it was a good experience all around anyway.
Mhm. Well, for me, I've been a fan of women bodybuilders from Canada. A lady who I've become friendly with, Melanie Horton. She's just
It's
competed.
fantastic.
Yeah, I interviewed a while back. She's a legend. She's one of the few women that competed back when Miss Olympia wasn't the part of Olympia weekend, but still competing because she competed in '99
Oh my god.
With Kim Zavesky, and she also competed with Iris Kyle. The current Miss Olympia at the time and the future Miss Olympia. Did she tell you that?
I had no idea.
Hey, grasshopper, you learn when you come out here. We have here my man KL the Wonder. He says, uh, "I also been a fan." Yeah, well, KL, you're a fan. Yes, I know. And you're more a fan of the women than you are the sport, but you're learning. This is my brother. I help him out. So when you got your pro card, what was that feeling? Off that time, taking that time off, and then coming back, and what was that feeling when you said now you are IFBB pro?
It was honestly the greatest feeling of my life because my my mom was like my biggest fan and biggest supporter, and she loved going to all my shows. And then when she was there, we got to share that moment together, and it was an experience that I'll never ever forget. And I'm just, yeah, it was fantastic. Like it was so surreal becoming pro because you see all these pros on the internet and you hear about them, and then it's like, oh no, I'm pro. I'm one of them, one of us.
One of us, one of us. It was that crazy movie I remember years ago seeing. But yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of ladies I've known who took many years before they got their pro card. I interviewed a couple ladies who just got their pro card, barely just competing a year, and then you take that time off, you rejuvenated, came back, and that was just I think it was just about timing, sometimes. Also, this is he said this. He says, "You funny? Yes, I am. Funny how? Funny how? Funny." So also, he says this. Tell me when I could become a fan. Well, I just did. So, he's my brother. I love busting his balls. So now you compete in natural, and that's like I said, a lot of these competitors, NPC level, IV level, not a lot of them are natural. Natural is getting kind of starting to get a little more recognition in these organizations because mostly it's like OCBs, that's a natural organization, a couple of other natural organizations. You think as a competitor who does natural, think it's like a lot harder for you competing with girls who are more enhanced, the girls who do take pads or steroids, or whatever else?
100% because like I struggled. Like my feedback from Pittsburgh was more size. Um, it's
See,
going to be
right.
hard for me to put on size, but it's okay. I like challenge, and then I'll just keep working towards it. Yeah, I'll still compete against the open girls. That's fine because I love competing. Like the show I'm doing in August is open, but I'll be doing the masters because it's just 35 and up, and then I'll do the Ben Weeder Natural in November, and that one is drug tested, whereas the other ones they're not. So it doesn't matter. I'll just compete against whoever.
Yeah, and you made your debut at the Ben Weeder Natural last year, and I think
Yes,
you were second or third.
third.
Third, okay, because I know the lady who won the show, David. You interviewed with David Bryant. He interviewed her. She's a doctor, and she also made her debut at Daytona last year, and I think she was in top five of that show. But
She
yeah,
looks fantastic.
yeah. And like I said, the natural look is like I said, because it's more leaner. You don't, like I said, it's hard to put on size because one thing is people can make this. It's the effects of steroids does build muscle, but people think about this. It's more of help with the inflation of your bones, of your body, sprain. It's recovery more or less than, for, because everybody like this, everybody who takes it doesn't always going to be as big. Sometimes genetics come into factor
Yeah,
because if you have good genetics, like, you can build muscle pretty good. Sometimes also hard work. If you're a hard worker, you probably get it. This is from my man KL the Wonder. He asked, he says, how long you been competing? So, like I said, you've been competing, I would say like at least about 20 years, then the 15-year break. So how much would that time would be, like 20, 15 years altogether?
15, 16, 17, about 17 years.
17 years. So yeah, so that's what, yeah.
We-
And he also has a question that says, do people outside of bodybuilding consider you huge? So that's the thing always. When people see people with muscles, especially a woman, there's always that, comments like, why she got so much muscle? Is she trying to be a man? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just crazy because you know what? This is about being an athlete. No one says that to, any professional player or athlete when they have muscles.
which is true. Like I'm not huge by any means. I'm 115 pounds, so I'm quite small. Um, but like I worked with all guys. They're like, "Oh my God, you're more jacked than me," and it's like, well, I'm looking at them like, yeah, I am because you guys don't work out like at all. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you got to think about it. I used to when I was in high school, I worked out. I'm more of an endomorph, which means it's just I can put on muscle, but I don't get as cut. But I eat too much now, so that's an endomorph now. It's about I got this little tub around me, here and but it takes a while to really grow and develop. The work you got to put into this. Here this is from KL. He says. He says, "Oh, wow, she's a vet." Yeah, yeah, it's again, it's a lot of process and time to get to this next level for yourself, folks. What we're going to do is this: we're going to jump into a social media for a bit, look at some stuff. When we might have some critiques of her, guys. I'm going to tell you this, and this is no offense to you, Sam. I have to tell this because this is a disclaimer to all the guys out here. This is a nice lady. She took time out to talk to me, guys. This is my rule. No D pics. Stop it. Get some help.
no,
Don't,
thank you.
no, I mean, I know, guys. You see these girls all pumped and shredded. You get that little tickle in your pickle, but come on, stuff. So here you go. We're gonna jump into her social media for a bit, and here's some pictures. Here, this is from the Pittsburgh Pro. Like I said again, the judges told you more size, but like I said, physique shouldn't be about size. Let's say with bodybuilding, it's about size. It should be about conditioning. I think you have good conditioning. Hello?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's one thing that I can bring is the conditioning. Like I can get peeled. I can get the fully striated glutes, um, and just get super lean, which I'm super lean right now. But that also plays into my work as well. I'm very physically active. I'm a scaffolder, so I'm constantly working with steel, climbing up and down the standards. So it's manual labor all day, and then I still go to the gym and then take my dogs out. And yeah.
We said pictures. Who's this gentleman with you in these pictures here?
Oh, so Carl, I've actually known him since I first started competing. So if you look at that picture in the bottom left, that was my second show, and I won. That was a figure show, and I
Uh-huh.
won overalls there, and that was in London, and
Oh.
and that was like the qualification for what they would have as. So back in the day, they had level 1, 2, and 3, and so you'd get your level 1, you'd win that, then you get qualification for a level 2, then you do the level 2, and that would get you to the level 3, which would technically be like the pro qualifier now.
Mhm. And this is your mom?
Yeah, that was my mom.
Yeah, I heard she passed. I can understand because my mother passed too about 4 years ago. And my mother, she also, she wanted to really support me, and I really appreciate her. I know Mother's Day was tough for us, her not being around. And then also was it a week before my brother, his birthday, he passed about 21 years ago. And, you
God,
know, yeah, I also had a sister to my father. Well, both my parents are gone, but I'm orphan. He's here with my man, David Bryant. Dave's a cool guy, great guy. He does content on you ladies. I saw his interview with you a while back, and I always try to, I know he poached girls from me, I poached girls from him. And, who's this young gentleman here with you?
oh, that's Kyle. He actually goes to my gym, and I used to work with his dad, and I see him at the gym all the time. So I've known Kyle since he first started. So he did his first bodybuilding show, which was my first show back into it after 15 years. And now he's like a huge, he's endorsed by Youngwa, and he just goes and guest poses and promotes like everything. Like he's such a great person. I love Kyle.
Sweet. And this is a video from the Pittsburgh Pro. And where's that experience? The Pittsburgh Pro is probably one of the biggest shows in bodybuilding. One of the few shows that still have it don't have women's bodybuilding, but it has physique. And I know they announced that it's going to do like a kind of extravaganza next year for the Pittsburgh Pro.
Yeah.
I think it's like trying to be competition with your own swimming classes. Arnold. I used to be a fan. Like I said, yeah, I used to watch the movies. I was a fan of Arnold, but Arnold don't like you muscle women's there. The shows. He kicked you out, kicked out with bodybuilding, and now he physique, and then he kicked out to for fair guy. Just and I think I'm hoping they might do this. Have women's bodybuilding part of the Pittsburgh Pro, because because there were so few competitors at the St. Louis Pro. There were 5 competitors compared to 3 with y'all show, that they kicked out women's physique from the St. Louis Pro.
Yeah, and then like if you look at the Toronto Pro and even Omaha this past weekend, there were last weekend there were massive shows, like big turnout for both physique and women's bodybuilding, which was fantastic to see.
Yeah, well, I think with women's bodybuilding, the numbers are kind of down because a lot of competitors are either not ready yet, and also same with physique takes time and for it to get ready, because you got to stand, it takes y'all ladies a good while to prep compared to divisions like maybe wellness or bikini or even men's classic or even men's physique, because they're fast turnaround shows. That's why some promoters have so many of them. Here's this like this free feature. What is you feel like your best feature physically?
My glutes.
Yeah, we saw that.
Only because I can. So my coach is Antoine Bayon. He is IFBB Pro as well. I actually met him at the gym, and then we started training. He's the one who got me pro there. He is in the center there. He has been like my rock. He is fantastic. And he even said to me, he's like, no one else can touch your glutes. Like they have glutes conditioned like yours, even the men's bodybuilder. I'm like, perfect. I want to keep that because I'm not very big, so I've got to do something.
Yeah, and here's this with your mom, and seems like she's a nice lady. I know I can understand you probably miss her as much as I miss mine. And there's your little doggy. That's the doggy. That's Blake, right?
That's Blake. Indy's the little wiener dog who comes with me everywhere.
Yeah. Well, folks, if you look in the comment section of this live stream, right now there's a GoFundMe for Blake because he needs surgeries. So if you are fans of of this lady here, or just love animals like dogs like that, you want to donate to her and help her out, with the surgeries like that, it's truly appreciated, because that's why I like to give attention to people and help them out. And here's pictures from the natural show. Now, what was critique from this show? They told you.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I am not sure. So when I drove down to do that show in Virginia, and then when I wasn't really in the mindset, because that's when my mom started to get sick. Mm-hmm. And then I checked in, and then I got a phone call from my mom right after I got checked in to go get my tan. saying that she has pancreatic cancer and there's nothing they can do. She's going to go into palliative care. And so I actually wanted to go home right away at that point, but I obviously didn't because I already drove like 10.5 hours to get here. I'm like, I'm just going to compete, and would drive home. So I competed, and then I drove home right after that. It was awful.
Yeah, I know it's tough. My mother, she suffered a bunch of series of seizures, and then she was it when she passed. She had got the virus in the hospital. I mean, she got sick one morning, then she went to the hospital. Next, she had the C19, and next thing you know, it was just boom. So,
Yeah.
but, and this is a show you were competing at. Was this what was this? You
Oh,
were doing
I was just guest posing.
guest posing, all right?
Yeah.
What was this show?
This is Mindy O'Brien. I'm sure you know that name.
Yeah,
She's
she's multiple
she's a
time Olympic
legend.
competitor. Yeah.
So she hosted this event. Normally it was in Niagara Falls, but this year it was in Stony Creek, which was fantastic. And she asked me to be a guest poser, and I'm like, I'd love to. So I love like doing a routine. It's fun to music and just get to show my love for the sport.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't get like makeup or hair. That's why I kind of just did like that. What's going on up there? I'm just like, I put like I can do face paint. Okay, so I did face paint.
Yeah, it looked like you had fun. That's the thing. Like, I know somebody used to do guest posing because I remember my first Bible show I went to see Andrea Shaw and Mona Persley were guest posing. And
Oh,
I'm a big
yeah.
that was Savannah back in 2022, and it was just great. I'm a big Andrea Shaw fan. It's great to see her. Mona Persley is she's also a Canadian bodybuilder. She's originally from Iran, but she's a Canadian bodybuilder. I know she was at the Toronto Super Show because I saw pictures with her backstage.
Yes. I
Yeah.
actually I was good friends with her brother Reza, and he was a phenomenal bodybuilder back in the day. Like, he was such a great, sweet person. And then I never actually met Mona until this year, and she is such a sweetheart. Like, I could definitely see Reza like in her, and it was great. She's a great person.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, it's good. When she kind of made me think about my brother, how we were close because, like I said, my mother and father had 7 kids together, and I'm technically I'm number 6, and then my father has a son before he met my mother, and he had a daughter after. So altogether, there's at least about probably 9 of us. But like to quote my other guy, my father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never liked it, not one bit. Why so serious, son? And they're together for 55 years until we were still in North Carolina. He was living in New Jersey, but that was my father. And I miss him a bit. Here we got a comment here. This is from my man, Balls. He says, I was trying to work out at the pull-up bar yesterday, then a while. Okay. Also, this is from Balls. He says, ladies love Dave, LLD. Dave's a great guy. Also, this is from man KL. He says, Arnold is definitely the Terminator. He terminated the show for women's bodybuilding and women's physique.
You got that right.
Yeah, and also says to you, for your mother, he says, condolences, my condolences. So, because, and also they say your job, you work in heavy steel. That's what you do?
I'm a carpenter, but up here, so I'm a union carpenter, and then I'm working, we do scaffolding. That's technically part of carpentry. And yeah, I love it. I don't have to do cardio, which is fantastic. My cardio is
Yeah, well, I think generally most bodybuilders, 2 things they like less is cardio and leg day. But what is your favorite workout when you go in the gym? What workout you like to do when you're
quads, 100% quads.
So that's leg day, you might as well say.
Well, I separate them. So it's like doing chest and back on the same day because it's a push and a pull. So I'll do quads on one day, and then I'll do glutes and hams on another day. So I do love doing glutes and hams because I love doing deadlifts. So I'm actually good. I'm good at deadlifts. That's my strongest pull. So that's why I like doing those. I'm actually starting to incorporate them back into my workouts, lifting heavier to hopefully put on a little more size. And got about 9 weeks to do it. So fingers crossed.
He's picking on me right now. He says, he says, George, you is a diehard Andrea fan. Yes, I am, because I just she's just a beautiful person. I've interviewed ladies and people who know her, and it's great to talk to someone like her. I would love to have her on just one of these days, but it's something that's gonna take some time before it ever happens. I know she's a busy lady, but like I said, I just love Andrea Shaw. She's just so beautiful. Oh, God. And and a while back, a friend of mine, I know, Kia, he's going to talk and check about you about this. He was now this is Muscle Development, one of the popular magazines from Canada. It's the magazine ended I think about a few months ago. They shut it down, and this was her issue. First time she's on the cover of this magazine. And my friend, her name is Eunice Kitchen. She runs Bad Rap. Eunice got Andrea to sign this for me, and this is just I gotta put this in a frame, Sam. I got to because I can't help it. I just love it. But she's just an amazing person. Who you admire in the sport? Anybody you follow? You admire?
Um, I well, the girl who actually just competed at the Toronto Pro, Tracy
Gaio. I
Guile.
interviewed Tracy.
I didn't want to mispronounce it. Like she really stood out to me. I'm like, she looks phenomenal. She definitely deserved to win. Um, I love Sarah. Well, I can never say her last name.
Vilgus, Sarah Vilgus,
Yes,
the current Miss Olympia physique champ.
and obviously Natalie. So what I like about their physiques and their overall look, they still look feminine and they have that muscle definition and they just look great. And they all are like I follow them on social media and I see all their posts and like what they're doing and they seem like genuinely great people. Like some are just like mean and just whereas they're not. And so I like them.
Well, I interviewed Tracy a while back. She's been on my channel before. Also, I remember doing the interview. Natalia, Quayle came in and she was, making comments. Also, I told Tracy this. I told her, you have the Olympic level physique, and she not proved me a liar. Now she's going to Olympia. I
Yeah.
mean, I love that fact. This is from my man KL. It says Tracy is wow. Yeah, she's a great person. Beautiful person, beautiful personality. He's picking on me again. He says Andrea could find a time. Well, she's a busy lady. She whenever she gets time, she could. And he also says never seen a lady carpenter before. You build houses or something. So like I said, you're unionized. So your union, your body license. When did you start and how long you were doing carpentry?
So I started actually framing houses, so building houses, and that was back in I'm gonna say 2015. Yeah, so 2015. So prior to that, I was actually a police officer for 6.5 years. I left that, which greatest decision I ever did because I everyone hates you and you go and you try and make a difference, but I became a miserable person. Like I wouldn't trust anyone, so I started to volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, and then I'm like, you know what, I love this, so I developed a career with that. I'm also a volunteer firefighter with City of Hamilton as well, and because emergency services, people still like you, firefighter. So I do
Firefighter?
that, and then yeah.
Well, like this, even though people don't like police, we need them for especially when things go wrong. We need you, police. Like I said, 50. I'm not a big fan. I know interview a lady. I know her, Natalie Thompson. She's a constable. And she's a cool lady. I respect her. I've known some ladies I've interviewed who are still 50 or were 50, as we call it here in the states. And even as a person who does volunteer firework, that's good because you know what? This is why I say I don't say this to the military because the military they don't provide a service; they make sacrifices. For you, what you do, I want to say thank you for your service because that's really a service you're providing, you're helping people out. You're going into situations where people might be in a situation like, especially a firefighter, houses burning down, you're saving somebody's life. You are providing a service, and I really thank you for that. Even though it's not in my country, but it's another country, so I want to thank you for return for that. So yeah, and it's good that you find yourself because one thing is a lot of people. It's good to have uh, a trade now. I mean, I worked like general work. I mean, I was working here and there and stuff like that. One of my first jobs was a gas station when I was 16, and then I was working both jobs at a gas station and working at textiles, and then I had a couple of jobs with the college for a little bit, and then has one job I worked for a good while. It was in excuse me, it was called a gentleman's club, but in the hood we call it the booty club. And I got a say, George, man, you work with the dude. It's not always like that. Sometimes you have situations where you have to take drunks out. Sometimes you have to pat down guys. And sometimes you might have problems. Sometimes there's been a few times I had to break up some fight between strippers, but it's not all that. Here we got a question from my man KL, and I think you might have where was I saw it earlier. Oh yeah, okay. He says this: how far do you see yourself competing? So you said you're gonna do a show in August. What show is that?
That's the Max Fit Pro. It's in Florida. Can't remember exactly where. I kept saying Tampa, but it's not Tampa. It's a smaller town. But I'm going to do that one. It's August 17th, and then I'm going to do the Ben Weider Natural. Or I might have gotten that date wrong because I know it's Ben Weider Naturals November 17th, and then I might do another one in between there. We'll see.
Well, a lady who I just did it for interview, she worked the bad rep. Her name is Jolene Floops. Jolene just announced she's going to do that show, The Max Fit. There's also a show called The Clash. It's in November, and Ken Richardson, whose wife was Amy Richardson, he's offering to pay for all the Masters competitors' entry fee. So when you do the show, he's paying for the entry fee for Masters. As Master competitor, you have to pay. And also, there's always, Sarah's putting the big money for the Texas Pro. It's
I
good.
would love to do Texas. Like I wouldn't stand a chance because they're freaking huge, but like just to step on stage with them would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Texas. I think it's gonna be because what Sarah Vickers doing. Like I said, I was a big fan of Sarah Vickers, but I really respect what she's doing. Right? She's talking about how not enough. Like look at the Arnold Schwarzenegger classes. They put up $500,000 for the men's division, but still don't have. You can put up the money for the men's division, but don't put up the money and try to keep women's bodybuilding on physique because back in the day, Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic was one of the top level shows next to Olympia, but now you women are not there anymore. I mean, I don't watch it because I will holler at some ladies who do fitness because I interviewed one lady who could do the fitness in that show and follow some fitness competitors. And you have shows like the Rising Phoenix and the Arizona Pro, which is just a standalone lady show. Back in the day, there was a show. I just interviewed a lady this morning who competed at this show, the Jantana Classic. It was right here in my home state of North Carolina. It was one of the few shows that had women's bodybuilding here in North Carolina. Because most of the shows now are all other places like here and there. But man, KL like says this says thank you for your service. Yeah. So here's the thing that's tough about being a competitor in sport is you do the GoFundMe for your dog. I remember you saying in your interview with Glenn, you were planning to do another. Not Glenn. I'm sorry, David. You were planning to do another show, but then Blake got sick and your surgeries. And that's the thing about being a competitive bodybuilder, the expense of competing. I mean, traveling. You come from Canada to Pittsburgh. Then you think about doing a show in Florida. Your posing suits. Your food, hair, makeup, everything. If you look over the men's division, all you gotta do is wear a pair of banana shorts, banana hammocks, and a pair of board shorts.
And hammock, yeah.
Yeah, that's all it. Board shorts. You gotta remember the men's physique. Men's classic. Or I call them men's bikini. No. Actually, men's physique is bikini, and men's classic is figure. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. Yes, I got straight. But I know. Do you have any sponsorships, or everything's on you?
It's on me, but hopefully that will change. Just that's why I'm going to keep continuously doing shows, getting better. Each time I compete, I continuously get better because I look at what I did the last show and it's like, okay, how can I improve on this to make myself better? And I'm they're baby steps, but hey, they're steps in the right direction, and that's all that matters. And I'm doing what I love. This is like my pastime, and I love it.
Yeah, because you know what, you ladies in sport where prize money's not as much, and then it's almost the cost of it, but you have to do the sport because you gotta love it. I mean, the time you gotta put into it. I know there's days where you get up in the morning and you gotta do cardio, but you got your job, you don't have to worry about that. But
So do
hmm?
that. It's like I don't want to do this.
You don't want to do that, especially food. You can't, eat everything that you want to eat. You have to eat. I know you have a nutritionist. So he works with your diet, and also there's so much to this that people got to understand. Like I said again, go back to the thing with steroids, but you don't take them, you don't use them. But that's only a small factor. You have to follow your diet, you have to be consistent. I know there's days where you go to the gym that you don't want to be here, but if you want to step on that big stage with these ladies that you follow, that you admire, you have to make that sacrifice, that time you put in. You can spend more time with your family if you got. I know your mom's gone. You got any more family members left, or?
I have a brother and a niece and nephew. I don't see them too often because he's super busy. But I have my animals, and what a friend of mine she told me, she's like, you have your adopted family. So there's certain people that I really consider my family now that my mom is gone. And obviously my animals, my little wiener dog's actually she's sitting right there, sleeping.
Can you see little Willie dog?
There she is. She,
That's
she's sleeping.
cute.
There she is.
My sister Mary, she was like she's the baby girl of the family, but she's my older sister. One of my older sisters, she had poodles. She loved her poodles. I mean, one time I was sick. I had pneumonia. I was sick, and one of the poodles just got on my lap one day, and laid on me, and it just made me feel good. I mean, I miss having a dog. Where I live it, I can't have dogs. It's. I mean, if I had time for it, but I was country boy. We had dogs in the country. We
Oh
run
yeah.
around, play with all day, but we come into town, it's hard to try to keep a dog. My mom didn't believe in having dogs in the house. That was her thing. But she let go of my sister's little dog. She didn't mind. And like I said again, with the cost of traveling and sponsorship's hard to get. I mean, one person who I'm a fan of, he was at Pittsburgh, and I interviewed Natalie, Ray Wolf, just the week after. She was with him. It's my man. I gotta say this every time I do it, Sam. Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. That shout out to Mr. Jake Wood. What he did for women's bodybuilding, I think he could have maybe extended also to women's physique, because, like I said, again, Jack Tatone just dropped your division from St. Louis Pro. I think he's going to swap it out for another one, probably wellness or maybe figure.
All this is getting really popular. Like everyone loves it. It's not for me. I don't know.
you don't want to wear the clear heels, but hey, you can work on the
I
glutes.
can sprint in those heels, but like honestly, like I hate the posing. It's
Stick out your butt.
and it's not actually posing. Like it and that's no offense to like bikini betters or wellness. It's I'm all about the muscle definition and trying to get like the overall package where that is a totally different look that I'm going for.
Hmm.
But
I think.
everyone has their own tastes and
Yeah, I
yeah.
understand, because I think, like I said, I know I have a friend of mine. She competed at she last competed. She earned a pro card as a figure competitor. Then she competed. Actually, Jada earned a pro card as a physique competitor. Competed first as figure, earned a pro card as physique. Competed bodybuilder, went back to physique, and now she switched over to wellness. And because it is a popular division, one thing we talk about is those strong, as like this truth of it, Afro aesthetics. That's why the Brazilians do so well, because they have those Afro genetics. I know it's a lot harder for the women who don't have those genetics. You have to really work at it. But
Brazilians are really good at it too. They
yeah,
have it.
because they have those strong Afro genetics. I mean, black women should be, do a little better too, but the Brazilians do a little better. I don't know. It's just some things about this or that, whatever, politics and whatever. But I think everybody got to find where they fit in. And, Physique came along. I think it helped a lot of competitors who were too small for women's bodybuilding and too big for figure. But now, if you look at divisions over the period of time, the figure girls are starting to look more like the physique women that started out around about the early 2010s.
Hmm.
We just talked about this a while ago, where we just had the same weekend we had two shows, Triple O Dynasty and the Charlotte Pro. And I'm living in Charlotte's like 100 miles from where I stay at. And this picture I saw this from Female Body Challenge. They posted this, and you have this is Ann Gruber, who won the Triple O Dynasty Women's Physique, and this is Tessa Metz, who won the figure division
Oh,
at
wow.
the Charlotte Pro. Now, if you look at these ladies, you ask yourself, what divisions are they? If you just had a blind eye, what would you say?
I would say physique for the Charlotte Pro and the Triple D bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah, it
That's what
looks like.
that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where this is why I think, and as you talk about the judges say you need more size, but you're a national competitor. You're not going to get the size compared to the girls who do take enhancements. It's a lot harder for you because that's why I think they're really trying to bring in more natural competitors, competitions into bodybuilding now.
Sorry.
Daisy, she's awake. You're not the first one whose dog came in the middle of the interview.
Getting wiener kisses. It's okay. This is
Well, that's your baby. That's your baby. So we keep talking while he licks you.
she's
Yeah,
a licker.
yeah, yeah. My mom didn't believe in licking her face. She minds to spit the dog, but she don't want to lick her face. Yeah, that's a black people thing. But yeah, but I think they don't really sit down and put the guidelines like for the other divisions, like do it for men's classic, do it for men's physique, and do it for even open division for the men's bodybuilding, and they even talk about guidelines for bikini and wellness, where but then they don't sit down and put the guidelines for physique or women's bodybuilding. It seems like if you look at, like, one example is Cindy Gillen. She has a look that's very feminine, good amount of muscles, not too big. But then you look at Jessica Reyes Padilla. You look at um, Lola Montez. This weekend is the Imperial in Spain, and Paula Ranta, who was a figure competitor, is switching over, making her physique debut.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they just released the list.
the list. Yeah,
I did
Monday.
see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, and there's some ladies. Like I said again, I think one thing somebody said, I don't want to go to women's bodybuilding, like the New York Pro, Ashley Jones, when she switched over. And I'm posting this. I love this picture of Ashley because I'm a fan of Ashley. When she posted this that day before the New York Pro, I said, "Damn!" And you got to say this: she was a figure competitor, did physique, then now she's women bodybuilding. She just won her first show. I mean, it's a
She definitely looks like a bodybuilder. She looks fantastic, like that glute ham separation. I'm like, oh my god, like
yeah, the
damn.
shoulders, and even she has a good taper. Especially I think it's just about, like I said again, what I learned is, like, it's not about trusting the process. It's about understanding the process and putting the work in to eventually trust the process.
Yeah, like she has the whole package. It's she just looks great. Like it's not just about the size. Like she actually looks aesthetically pleasing as well, which is what I like about the sport, where you get competitors like that who prove otherwise. You don't need just size. You can look aesthetically pleasing and have the whole package, which is what she has.
Yeah. So, like I say, but like I said, it's a process, and it's not like bodybuilding's not really a sport that a lot of people don't really take it seriously. Is I know when you got into, your mom was saying, like, "Sweetheart, I don't want you to get too big. I don't want you to get bulky. I don't want I had a little girl. I didn't have a boy. I already got a brother. I already got a son. I need nothing like that." But
Exactly what my mom said. Like,
I've heard that story too many times. Sometimes I hear one time, sometimes I be like, Dad be saying, "You're my girl. I don't want no boy. I got two more boys. Why do you need another boy for?" But people don't understand it. I mean, people want to, I posted a link from a lady. Her name is Renee Hooks, how she's talking about how you get shamed for being athletic. I'm a big dude. I got picked on for being a big dude, but now I think people are not looking at people like, oh, okay, you're fit, you got these muscles, yeah. What are we gonna do with them? But if you're not willing to put the work in, why are you talking about somebody else who does?
I get it all the time. Not so much from the people that I work with, only because I only work with guys, except for one girl. But they always say it's like, oh, you're jacked, and it's like, well, I'll just outwork you, so they don't say anything. And I'm technically one of the guys though at work, but I can see it all the time when if I'm out grocery shopping or whatever. Like usually I'm wearing a sweater because I'm always cold, even when it's hot. I like to be like scorching hot. I like heat. I'm like a lizard. Give me a little hot like heat lamp or a rock, and I'll sit on it. But you get people will just stare at you and give you like weird looks. It's like, but I just don't care. I really don't care what anyone thinks. Like I'm wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt. Like this is like this type of stuff that I wear. I like to have fun. I'm not like a typical
Girly
girl.
girl.
Yeah, girly. Like I like to get dressed up every once in a while, but I like to be comfortable and just be me. Like all my like I have tattoos. Like I have Goku. I have One Punch Man. I've got Link. I I have various Pokemon. Like I'm kind of a nerd, but like I like to be me.
Well, I'm a kind of a nerd too. I have stacks of comic books and magazines I collected over the years. I don't have tattoos. That's not me. I could never let somebody put ink across
Okay.
my skin. I mean, you talk about one of my favorite. When I used to get off my job, I used to love to watch Naruto. That was one of my favorites. And Inuyasha. I mean,
I
also,
was
uh,
obsessed with Inuyasha.
yeah, you remember they brought it back because that episode because they were inside the demon's stomach and they brought it back I think a couple of years ago so they could give it a final ending to the story.
They did, and they actually just made a new like remake of their three daughters. I couldn't get into it though, but they just remade like a sequel to it, I guess.
Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah, like I said, and also one where I was watching Attack on Titan a little bit, but I think
Oh
it
yeah,
was
that was great. That's a great
yeah
show.
after till they made Aaron to the asshole. I didn't really watch it much anymore, and it was pretty good before, but yeah, I mean I'm into that stuff.
I
Like I
agree.
said,
I agree.
yeah, one of my all-time favorite heroes is always going to be because I love this guy because this version of Joker when with Heath Ledger he just took it. He said like like I'm like a dog chasing cars. When I get one, I don't know what to do with it. And I love the whole Nolan Batman trilogy. I quote some
Yeah.
stuff from my interview when I do my interviews. I like my favorite one is why do we fall, Master Wayne? In order to pick ourselves up. So I love those quotes. They're good, to give you life lessons.
Hmm.
And remember, he picks on me about it, but hey, Kia, forget you. You're not a fan. I'm a fan. So this is one thing, in the sport, especially for you ladies, sponsorship is tough unless you're the division that's more powerful, like bikini or wellness. And I know what some ladies have to do. They do it. I know you have a good job which pays you pretty well, but not as much as if you was like sponsored. I know ladies like to do, as I call them, excuse my French, the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. That's we guys. We know we got on there. We look at you ladies, y'all buffed up, like that. You know, do you like also, ever think about doing a model and stuff, and especially as a competitor?
I've thought about it. I did it years ago when I was competing back in 2008 and 9. I have CDs somewhere in storage of like my modeling. Um, right now it's just eh, I'd
Not your
rather like
thing.
I'm just exhausted like I'm gonna be honest, like after so I'll work like a physical job all day, especially out in the sun, wearing like the coveralls on top, and then I'm working in like the byproducts. It's gross in an old steel mill. And then I go and I train after, and then I have to take my dogs out for a walk, and then I'm just exhausted, and I'm like, can't be bothered.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there was a friend of mine. He's up there. He lives right here in North Carolina. His name is Glenn Young Senior. He was there doing some photo sessions. But if you ever feel like you're interested in, I'll send you his link and you can check him out. He's
Yeah,
planning on
I
doing
appreciate that actually. Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah
Thank
he
you.
yeah he's planning on doing you going to Atlanta next month. To do some photo shoots at the Atlanta pro Linda Murray show. I got the pleasure of
Oh,
seeing Linda Murray at Savannah 2 years ago when I went to my first Vitamin show, and Linda's just a beautiful lady. I mean, just really a woman who really changed the sport of bodybuilding.
I'll look into that one. Might
Yeah, yeah.
maybe do that one.
They do
Uh,
masters too at the Linda show. I think that's the 12th and the 14th for July. And like I said, I know I posted because one lady who I follow, her name is Tina Chandler. She competed back in the day. She's making a return. She's doing the Atlanta, and also another lady who just competed at Omaha is doing the show too. I think
okay,
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a stacked show. But if it's something you're interested in, I'll send you a link to
appreciate that. That'd be
yeah,
great. Thank
that's
you.
no problem. It doesn't hurt to help. So, folks, we're not going to hold her too long. She's got off for work. She's here talking with me. I mean, I do appreciate the time she's giving me. She got to get up in the morning. She got to take care of dogs. Got this and that. This is. I enjoy talking to you up and coming competitors. I mean, I love to talk to Andrea one day, but that's something that's going to take time. I know.
It'll
I know.
happen. It will happen.
I can. I remember a while back. This is my partner. He's my brother. He comes on when we do a live stream every Monday. It's my man Big Keith. He sent me this a while back, and I tell him, "Get your hands on my girl, Keith." He said, "No, George, I just want to." And he sent me. I said, "Hey, Keith, that's my girl." He said, "Nah, George, I just seen. Nah, nah, he's my brother. I love him." But I told him, "Keep his hands off my girl. He has a wife." But I tell him, Keith, "I'm sorry. I'm
That'll be
sorry."
you one day. That will be you.
That'll be me. I'll be. I remember I took a picture with Donna Salid and another lady I mentioned. And I took a picture with Alina Popa when I was in Atlanta. It was great to meet Alina Popa. That's a beautiful lady, a legend herself, you know. But like I said, we have here from a man, bodybuilding fan number one. He says, he says it's beautiful. You got some fans here. I'm telling you, Samantha, whenever I get a new girl out here, they act like when they make like an episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy met Mickey Free when he was hanging with Prince. And I said, yo, Prince got a new, Charlie got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker. Nah, that's how they act when I get a girl. Like, you remember Mickey Free was a
I didn't
dude,
even
but
shower yet today. I got the great grease ball hair. I need to.
they
That's
don't
actually
care.
what I'm doing next.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. So, like I said, like I'm gonna say this to you. What would you want more from this sport for yourself as a competitor?
Um, I wish there were more natural shows just to see more competitors out there. I do want to see more, like, because I know there's so many different IFBB shows, but especially women's bodybuilding and women's physique. If you look at the amount of shows that are offering those two categories, it's very small compared to bikini. Like they have some that are strictly for like men's physique and bikini. It's like, seriously? Like, honestly, those are two of the most boring categories. Like, I love watching men's bodybuilding. Like, that's fantastic. And men's classic, that's my favorite thing to watch. I call that the pretty boys. And I like watching that style. So it's like Frank Zane from like years ago. Like, that's the physique that we're looking at. I just wish they had more of our categories being offered. And hopefully one day they do. Fingers
Well,
crossed.
the problem is with promoters, those divisions like physique, men's physique, and bikini and wellness and mid class, they're faster turnarounds. Even men's bodybuilding is always going to be. I'm telling you, men's bodybuilding is the bottom bitch of the. If you know the pimping game, the bottom bitch is the one who brings the money in for the promoters, and that's what men's bodybuilding is.
Yeah.
It's always going to be getting more attention. Top 10 competitors at the Olympia still gets cash, while everybody else is top five. They walk away with Derek Lungford could walk away with nearly $500,000, while Andrea, Sarah don't need to worry about it. She's rich. She don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Andrea and Chris Bumstead and the others, they walk away like maybe not even $50,000. I think it should be. I'm not saying it's not gonna be fair, but at least give something worth somebody's time. Like some of these shows, you walk away from $2,000 to $3,000 worth of prize money, but after you pay your hotel fees, your travel fees, your food, your travel, your hair and makeup, everything else, you're just going more into the hole. I mean,
Yeah.
another thing is this from a movie I used to love. It's the Incredibles, where it's your job. Where Bob's boss was telling me it's your job to keep us in the black. And that's the thing is, as a bodybuilder, you're not really going. You're mostly competing in the red. I mean, you got to sit down and budget weight. Say, okay, I got to travel instead of flying. I'm going to drive. I'll get Airbnb, sit in a motel room. Let me see if I can get some food on discount. You guys on sale. Let me instead of buying a poster suit, let me get a rental. It's just so much to it. I mean, one thing is when you're pro, I think there should be more consideration for y'all. I think you're the product of the IFBB. We don't come to see the judges. We don't come to see the promoters. We come to see the sponsors. We come to see y'all. And I think one thing what should happen is like, okay, you have a job where you have benefits. You have, 401k, all of the stuff that helps you out. If you want to retire, hey, you have a pension.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what IFBB should do for your competitors. Major League Sports have unions and pensions and stuff like that. My friend Keith, who I just showed, he played in the NFL for several years. He still gets a pension from that, for those years you put into it, And I think you got to pay your pro card like $200 or $300 a year. I think
It's more than that. In,
how much is it?
in Canada, it's about $400
Ooh,
for Canadian. So yeah, that's probably about 300
in
US,
American,
maybe.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's got Canadian money different from American money. I think the American
Yeah,
dollar is
Canadian
higher.
dollar sucks.
The American dollar is higher, except for other countries where it's lower. Like the pound's higher than you know they're like, well, hey, y'all Canadians, hey y'all, we pick on you, So but I think there should be more consideration. Like, but also sponsorship does help, but you don't want these guys to, hey Samantha, I see you like to build houses. Yeah, you like to use hammers and nails. Well, I got a hammer for you, Samantha. No, 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 no,
You.
no, no, no. Stop that. What's wrong with you? This is what we say, Miss Emery. We like your style. We like the fact you're a natural competitor. We have a product that's more about holistic and natural process. If you're interested in being a sponsor by us, and you think you can use our product, we'd like to offer you a opportunity to be a brand sponsor. But it's just up to you, ma'am. And if you're interested, just let us know. We got everything contracted set. We don't want nothing from you but to see you grow and develop as an athlete. Will you be interested in that?
Yep.
All right, we will have everything together. I wish I could do that. I wish I had. I only got a small channel with. I got a small voice, but I wish I could do more for you, ladies. We here got my brother XA Gucci 23. Shout out to XA, says salute George Page and chat and Samantha. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yes, my brother. So you say you're gonna be doing the Max Fit, and that's gonna be in I think what's it when is that?
It's in August,
August. Okay.
middle of August. Yeah,
All
doing
right.
that one for sure. And then I'm doing obviously the Ben Weeder Natural, November
Oh.
17th.
And you figure you might see you can squeeze in one more show by then.
I'd like to.
Well, I think there's the master. I know it's not Olympic qualification, but there's the Masters. I think it's supposed to be. I think it's 35 and over. I believe. That's.
Yeah,
I feel
so I'll be 36 this year, so I can do like the Masters if they make it 35. But then
Mhm.
I'd rather just do open, but not too many left.
Yeah, especially for natural competitors. But like I said, Texas pros. But you want to give some more time to really grow. I think there's another show. There's a show in November, which is Atlantic Coast.
I
That's
wouldn't be
for.
doing that because it's too close to the Ben Weeder, and I'm doing the Ben Weeder for sure.
Okay, so that works. So, well, like I said, whichever you can find, you can fit in, you get in. There's quite a few shows. It's a little bit more shows for women's physique than it is for women's bodybuilding, but still, yeah, numbers getting smaller. The shows overseas,
I'm gonna
but
apologize. My phone might die. I just looked at the battery. It's like on like the bottom red, and it's like battery saver
well,
needs to go on. Will you?
yeah, well, we'll go ahead and end this here because we don't want your phone to die. Go ahead and charge it, but we hope all the best for you.
Well, thank you
Best of
so much.
luck. Thank you. Like I say, if you want to go ahead and go out, and I just finish it out, and I do appreciate your time. I wish you all the best of luck. Also, best for Blake. And like I said again, if you ever want to come back and just shoot the shit, you're a welcome guest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and this was fantastic. I loved it. Indy
Uh,
loved it too.
yeah, I'm glad you love it. Like I said, it's my job to be entertaining yet also informative.
Well, thank you, and you have a great night.
You too. You have a better one.
Bye now.
All right, folks. We'd like to thank again the lovely Mrs. Emery for coming through. I'd like to shout out my man KL the Wanderer, bodybuilding fan 1001, and also my brother XA Gucci 23 for coming through. All you who want to follow Samantha, her social media stuff is in the description of this live stream. You want to check her out, support her. As you know, she's going to be doing the show, The Max Fit. I might talk about it because usually, I'm trying to spend more, we do have Women's Physique there, so I might talk about that show because I know Jolene's doing it. She's doing it. Also, she's going to do the Ben Weeder Natural Show, so I might talk about that too. So like I said, I'm trying to spend more to it. I will talk about shows that does have Women's Physique in it. Not so much as ones where don't have it. Because those are not the divisions we follow. I might even talk about one that has figure in it. Maybe. I'm just like I said, I don't know as many figure competitors as I do the physique and wellness and women's bodybuilders. But folks, I'd like to thank you again for coming through. I appreciate y'all support. I hope y'all enjoyed this. As you know, it's gonna be Thursday, it's gonna be the weekend eve. And like I said, time is flying. We have the Imperial coming up. I am gonna do a video about that show because this is gonna be the debut of women's bodybuilding show. As you know, 2023 was the last year for the Europa Championship, so they decided to move women's bodybuilding from Europa to the Imperial in Spain, and it's a great opportunity. We got here a comment before I head out. He says, "This is my brother XA Gucci says, peace, brother, peace to you, brother. XA, we got to do something together. We got to do something. I don't know what. What's the big pay-per-view coming up? You just shoot me a text and let me know. It's been a while since we did live." But I do appreciate you, brother. I appreciate all you for here. Also, shout out to Samantha and best of luck to her dog, Blake. And reach me out on my jerk page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good evening, good night, and good morning to you wherever you're at.